What's going on, guys? It's Elio Trades back with another episode of FUD TV. Before I get into this episode, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing. Honestly, it's blown us away. This channel is just 4 weeks and change old, just 4.5 weeks old. And oh my God, you guys have blown us away. We already have thousands of subscriptions, hundreds of thousands of watch time minutes and views, and it's just crazy what's happened in the last few days. So thank you guys so much. This channel, you guys have made it all worthwhile, and you're giving us the motivation to do even more. So this next month, we're going to be bringing you even more than we did last month. We're going to try to get more content out with better journalism, and we're just going to turn the volume up to 11 now. For real, it means a lot. You guys rock. Now for your daily crypto update. That's right, guys, we got green markets. Goldman Sachs-backed investment group buys Poloniex, and the biggest topic of the day is how we should really be viewing FUD from China. As usual, we have all your best headlines and some daily market analysis. All of it starts right now on FUD TV. All right, guys, we're just going to do a quick market analysis right here because I was watching a few channels earlier and it does seem like it's become a bit rote, a little bit boring to go, it's green, it's red, it's green, it's red. Every day it's going to be some green, some red. We're seeing that the market's bouncing a little bit back today. Again, we're hoping for some sick-ins. After Chinese Lunar New Year, we're just seeing the Chinese market get back to their normal goings-ons, and we've heard a lot of words, a lot of little chirps from a lot of little birds that there are tons of funds waiting in accounts, waiting to be deployed in the cryptocurrency market over the next few months. The question is when all those big institutional over-the-counter investments are going to start happening. We're starting to see some small reinjections of capital into this market as we climb up towards the $450 billion mark. Again, we're not even at the high that we were at a couple of weeks or a week ago of over 500 billion. So I can't say that we're bouncing too hard here, but Bitcoin is over 10K. That's always good to see it there. And as we see, we got nice green numbers all around, but we did have quite a bit of red over the last day to 2 days. So not a ton going on here. It's up, it's down, it's left, it's right. What we really want to talk about here is how we're hoping for China to come back strong. We've heard a little bit more about Chinese regulations that we're going to get to in a second. And the question is really, what should we expect? What should we expect from all of these market fluctuations, and where should our hearts be? What should we be waiting on as valuable news? Sick-ins! But before we get to the China thing, we're just going to quickly talk about a company called Circle. So Bitcoin startup Circle, which was invested in by Goldman Sachs back in 2015, just recently acquired Poloniex, which is one of the leading American exchanges. Circle notably received one of New York's first ever BIT licenses in 2015. And at any rate, this is just more news of more adoption, more legitimate groups getting in and owning Bitcoin-based businesses and cryptocurrency-based businesses. Obviously, exchanges are some of the backbones of the industry, and the quality of the exchanges is really the quality of the industry. As we're seeing exchanges get hacked, we're seeing the whole industry look fraudulent and risky, and as you see exchanges avoid those hacks and remain safe guards of your funds and whatever, we're seeing those as much more legitimizers of the industry. And so seeing more big heavyweights get into the exchange game is good for crypto. It's good for crypto traders. It's good for everyone to know that your funds are being looked after by heavyweights. This is good stuff. Finally, let's talk about China, guys. Let's talk about China. Here we are, moment of truth. Chinese Lunar New Year is ending. We're hoping for this massive surge. Sick-ins! Will it happen? Will this next week determine whether it's happening or not? It's really hard to say all these things, but let's dig in at first with a new piece of news that I've found. China's starting to place personal controls, personal regulations on some of the industry's leading entrepreneurs. Supposedly there's about 10 to 20 people who have been put on a list, who have been approached by the Chinese government, had their passports revoked, and been put on travel bans so that they are being effectively held in China as people of interest. Now, this to me completely crystallizes my understanding of what China may be trying to accomplish with their bans of cryptocurrency, or really with their attempts to control the cryptocurrency market in general. It has long been my suspicion on this channel that China has no intention no intention of cutting off this amazing gain that cryptocurrency has had. We're at 1.95% of the cryptocurrency market, and it is my expectation and my belief that China will continue to blaze a trail as both leaders of the technology and leaders of the investment and the prosperity that comes out of this technology. This ban, this control that they're trying to put on the 10 to 20 leaders of the industry, this is, again, to me, they're not going after the people on Huobi. By the way, Huobi has been saying that since they relocated to Singapore, they're saying that their Chinese user base has kept accessing Huobi per normal. They've also said that they've grown exponentially and consistently, regardless of regulation, and that now that they're located in Singapore, they're really not worried about anything. But more importantly, we're not seeing a crackdown on your everyday Chinese. You're seeing an extra special attention on industry makers, pillars of the industry. Now, this to me screams out that China wants to bring these big pillars inside the government. They want somehow for China, the government, to really wrap itself around whatever's going on in this technology space and kind of control it. Obviously, that goes against, in a lot of ways, the decentralization, the culture of decentralization that has brought cryptocurrencies into the mainstream of adoption. But the question now is, does this matter? Does this matter? Like, how should we value? How should we weight the Chinese decisions around regulation, around banning of cryptos? The reality is when you hear something about China banning crypto, you shouldn't really be weighting it at all. If anything, if China decided to just exit Bitcoin, exit the cryptocurrency market, that wouldn't mean really a collapse. It would mean a temporary fire sale, probably. I mean, just like we saw in the last month, Bitcoin collapsed from 20,000 down to 5,900. And now it's all the way close to 11,000, or it was well over 10,000. So we're seeing that these downward spikes are just temporary, and that the global community behind decentralized ledger technology, specifically behind Bitcoin, is too big to fail at this point. You just can't stop it. In the end, if China decided to en masse exit their positions in Bitcoin and say dump it all onto the public market and just cause the whole market to probably collapse by selling what would be probably upwards of 1 million Bitcoin or something, the reality is that they would probably crash the market, and that would be very, very temporary. But there are whales and investors and people in the other 190 countries in the world that would look at that as an amazing, amazing, amazing opportunity. So in conclusion, while China has been instrumental in bringing cryptocurrency into the mainstream adoption phase that we're in today, and that a lot of the growth and a lot of the innovation that we've been seeing in the market has come from Chinese projects, there's been a ton of excitement and development around these projects coming out of the whole Chinese region. The reality is that when the government decides to initiate or announce bans or spread FUD, it's not really stopping the activities. The activities are continuing. The distributed ledger is growing. Bitcoin's value in real value, in how widely it's accepted, how many people are mining it, the strength of its network, that is growing each and every day. And so to say that China's ban is going to crash the market, or this and that will crash the market, or without China this, without China that, it's just not a complete story. It's not an accurate story. And so we need to really take everything with a grain of salt when we hear about Chinese regulation and understand that their end game is just to benefit China, and that they have a long, long history of trying to keep any of their population, any of their citizens from gaining control that really outstrips that of the government. So this is just another way that they're taking the most powerful, most central people who have profited the most or are set to profit the most, and they're probably working out deals with them to bring a lot of that power within the government, or maybe even give them government positions. I don't know how this is going to go down, guys, but I'm just saying that I'm not worried at all, and I think you should take every regulation that you hear about from China with a grain of salt. Understanding that even if China decides to exit this game, goodbye, that it will not crash crypto. Crypto can't be banned, it can't be stopped, and unless every nation working together, like US, Russia, England, Japan, China, like all the big nations in the world decided that they were gonna come together and form some super anti-Bitcoin society, it's just mind-boggling. It's impossible. It's impossible. So I wouldn't worry too much about the government stepping in and stopping this revolution of ours. Just don't worry about that. What I would worry about is investing in shitcoins. Don't invest in shitcoins. Don't invest in coins. Invest in Bitcoin, not coin, okay? That's the rant for today. I hope that's been informative. I hope you feel like you've been updated. We'll be back with more cryptocurrency news and updates each and every day. Do me a favor, smash that like, hit subscribe, turn on the bell. I'll be back.